Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Amir Hakim bin Nushaini. My supervisor is Muhammad Razif bin Shamsuddin, and I'll be presenting about my final year project proposal. My final year project title is Preliminary Analysis of Depression Discovery in Social Media Status Using Sentiment Analysis. So without further ado, let's go. So for today's agenda, it is introduction, problem statement, research question, research objective, scope, significance, literature review, and methodology. So for the introduction, in this day of Web 2.0, the usage of social media has been part of our daily lives. According to Business of App 2022, for Twitter users, there are 206 million daily active users and 38 million users in the United States. With the apps such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we are able to share part of our daily life with other people. People share their feelings in various types of social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. Adding on, they can share their feeling such as sad, happy, bored, neutral, and depressed. Sometimes people get confused with the depression and sadness. So, what is depression? According to World Health Organization, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. Due to depression can be detected in social media status, we can see that there are a rise in sentiment analysis to detect depression. For example, identifying depression among Twitter user, depression detection from social media posts using multinomial naive theorem, and many more. But there are some problems with all the sentiment analysis that has been done. So, what is the problem with other sentiment analysis? Firstly, sentiment analysis that has been done by other researcher to classify a person having a depression is not verified by an expert in psychiatry. Finding an early stage of depression can prevent from suicidal thoughts. So, what is the research question? Well, what is the keyword of people having an early stage of depression? Secondly, how to design and develop a system that can detect an early sign of depression using sentiment analysis. The research objective is to identify the keyword that is related to an early sign of depression. Secondly, to design and develop a system that can detect an early sign of depression using sentiment analysis. Scope. Research scope is using social media. For the sentiment analysis, Twitter data will be used to perform sentiment analysis. Web scraping will be done by taking Twitter API to collect all the tweets. Significance. So what is the significance of this project? First, we can verify if the person is having an early sign of depression. Secondly, can help other researcher that is doing sentiment analysis. Lastly, can help people with an early sign of depression. Literature review. This is the related regarding to my final year project. So, firstly, we have sentiment analysis from Bengali depression dataset using machine learning. The dataset is Facebook. The technique that has been used is multinomial naive Bayes, random forest, decision tree, linear SVC, k-nearest neighbors, XGBoost. And the result is as follows. Secondly, identifying depression among Twitter user. The dataset has been taken is Twitter, and the technique that has been used is SVM and random forest. Moving on, using Twitter social media for depression detection in Canadian population. The dataset has been taken is Twitter. Uh, the technique used are as follow: SVM, LR, random forest, GBDT, and XGBoost. And the result is as follows. Lastly, depression detection from social media posts using multinomial naive theorem. The dataset has been used is Twitter and Facebook, and the technique has been used is naive Bayes with 86.11% accuracy. And this is for the mind map. Uh, I have listed the same domain with different technique and same technique with the different domain. The domain of my FYP is text mining, and the technique is support vector machine, naive Bayes, and random forest. Methodology. This is the research design. Objective is to identify the keyword that is related to early sign of depression. So the phases are preliminary study, the activities are have a meeting with supervisor for discussion, identifying the problems and the domain. Deliverable is problem statement, project scope, research question, research objective. Knowledge gathering, searching other research relate to work in the same domain. I'll be interviewing an expert, Dr. Muhammad Ghazali Masuri and Dr. Khairi Anwar Muhammad Isa. The deliverable is keyword that is related to early sign of depression and occupational therapy rule and questionnaire. The data collection is retrieving data using web scraping, and the deliverable is raw data. Moving on, data preprocessing, data cleaning, tokenization of data, stop word removal, and lemmonization. So what is deliverable is clean data. And for the second objective, the phases are apply machine learning. The technique I will use is random forest, naive Bayes, support vector machine. The deliverable is RB model, NB model, and SVM model. Architecture of system flow, designing the system of architecture. What is the deliverable is system architecture of sentiment analysis. Model testing and evaluation is to test the model that has been proposed and the result. The deliverable is system that can detect early signs of depression. Lastly, documentation, writing reports, and finally, a project. That is all from me. Thank you so much, and goodbye.